Hello, welcome to another episode of Stanton Gossip. Oh,
you got it right this time.
I did. Can you believe that?
I don't blame you. I'd mix it up too if I had to do.
It's not the first episode anymore.
If I had to do the intro, I would definitely mess it up.
I mean, we can always hide behind the restart and whatnot.
Yeah. For everybody who doesn't know, because obviously you wouldn't know, I think the last few weeks we've had to restart like 3 or 4 times because we kept introducing it as Straight Outta Stanton instead of Stanton Gossip. So, hooray! First try.
Totally not my fault, by the way. Okay, so another week where YouTube was kind of lacking. Luckily, we had some stuff already lined up from earlier in the week.
We had a submission.
We had a submission as well, which is great. And then we had some things on Twitter, luckily. So there's things to talk about, kind of.
Juicy gossip. First one's not really gossip, though.
No. I mean... No.
We
could make it, turn it into a gossip. So the first one is just a Twitter link. It was about a week ago, actually. I think August 22nd. Well, no, it was 4 days ago. And it's Jared Hackerby, who has a new nickname on Twitter, which is called Jared Hackerby, the Scottish Lord. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming he bought like 1 square of land or something.
Yeah. Somebody, one of Bad News Baron. Bought him bought him a 1 foot square patch of land. Yeah. So he's officially a Scottish Lord.
Nice. So our brand new Scottish Lord, soon to be Lord Jared of Hackerby, is Jared B. Series. There's a black and white photo of him, and is that Jeremiah Lee?
That's Billy, yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even recognize him. But it's like black and white photo, and there's a little parental advisory sticker at the bottom. And the reason I wanted to have this is there's a lot of people reacted to it.
Well, specifically they were asking if it was their self-titled album and like what it should be called. So yeah.
And there's a lot of Straight Outta somethings.
Yeah. But they missed the obvious one. Yeah.
No one did Straight Outta Stanton, and I'm still.
It obviously should be Straight Outta Stanton. So everybody who checks this out, I mean, obviously.
And then we could sue them and actually get rich in Alpha UC.
No, not Alpha UC. We'll steal some of that backer money.
Wait, what do you mean steal? We'll get it because we're gonna sue them, right? That's We're not thieves. We did not steal the idea from another.
It's okay. We'll sue CIG or them for infringement on our copyright, and then we'll just spend it all on ships.
Or we might have to spend it on infringement of the actual Straight Outta regular.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, whatever. We're stretching this one, but it's funny, and obviously it should have been Straight Outta Stanton. And everybody missed it, so
so go there and post. I'm kidding. The second one, we both saw this like from out of nowhere, and I again, it was in the middle of the night or whatever, and I checked my Twitter for some stupid reason, and I saw this and made me giggle, but I did not save it. And then before the show, I was like, Maso, there was such a cute tweet, and I can't remember that we found it. So basically, I don't know this person. I think someone retweeted.
Yeah.
So Roger Godfrey. I mean, I don't really want to. He. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but he gave his 9-year-old son to play Star Citizen and asked him what can CIG do to improve the game.
Yeah. And so we know how to fix it. We know how to fix Star Citizen now. Yeah.
So
not salvaged, not server meshing, none of that.
You gotta click to check it out, but the solution is there.
Yeah,
definitely. All right, the next one is yours, like full on yours. Although
it's not really Star Citizen. It's just kind of funny for anybody who's watched this show and knows how passionate Chegg is about having fishing in games.
Only in game, by the way. I don't know why, but I just really enjoy having fishing in games.
And it's a very simple flow chart that details whether or not your game is good. And if it has fishing, it's good. If it doesn't have fishing, it's shit.
It's
very
shit.
Easy.
That's how it is. I mean, I'm not making this up. That's how it is.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just goofy. Whatever. It's goofy. Click on it. It's funny. Yeah.
True. And then the second one, we should have like made this like mine, yours, whatever.
Yeah, or like broken it up or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But I actually saw this one, and before we get to the reason why I have it here, I think this is worth mentioning as well. Captain Berks, as we mentioned him a lot, because he's one of those, big content creators who actually plays. Recently, a lot of people like jumped the ship and played, but literally no pun intended, and played some other games. And I don't blame them. Don't get me wrong. Like it's difficult. It's difficult times in Star Citizen for a content creator. To just not play anything else. But out of everyone else, Berks is kind of sticking to Star Citizen. And it's so strange because you don't really see him complain. Like he gets pissed off, frustrated and all that, but you don't really see him complain about the game and development and everything. And then I was kind of surprised. He made a long ass, well, it's not that long, but like a post on Spectrum. And man, I went through it and I read it. I'm like, I'm a little bit confused, honestly. Like, he's asking for things which are so obvious, and everyone, I even feel like CIG has mentioned it already, and
well, and obviously, like, if it were that easy, if it were as easy as just like it would have happened already, but
I almost
that's
feel
not why I linked this.
I know, but I just for me this is kind of I want to have it anyways. The reason you linked it is super funny and entertaining, but I watched this and I had some kind of like expectations. I don't want to say hope, but expectation, right? That because he plays so much that he actually made something eye-opening. And then after reading his post, I felt like he was just frustrated with the game and he was like holding it in. And then it bursted on Spectrum. It's a normal post. It's not some, bashing and smashing. It's just, like these are the things that don't work and it's a problem.
I guess you're right in that it's like, it's something that was like, it's so obvious, like why even post about it? Because I didn't even click on it. I was just like, okay, another Spectrum post about desync, like, but yeah.
And it's bad. It's really bad. But yeah. But anyways,
I just looked at it now and scanned it, and yes, it's literally just like desync is bad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, he goes into details to explain it, but it's just that's what it is. Like, we know that. Everyone knows that. Anyways,
but the reason I shared it is because Salty Mike responded in a way that I'm sure we're all familiar with when we've had issues, very facetiously replying saying, I never experience issues, so I don't know if you know, but like Star Citizen and Alpha, and as a content creator you should probably know better and you should probably go play other games. And I think we've probably all heard that.
I saw that. I liked Mike's reply first and then the actual post.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. There's no disrespect between these two. Mike was just being silly, and
he's just being silly.
But then there's a lot of others who replied with serious answers, and you can, as usual, you can find Noodle, Paul, Berks replying. There's some questionable replies as well, but yeah, worth a check for sure, and you're gonna get a giggle from some of our favorite content creators. Yeah.
I mean, we've literally talked about this exact thing in a couple of our Straight Outta Stanton episodes, right? Like, the whole response, the whole thing about like how the response of, well, I don't experience any issues, so it obviously must be you, is like such a toxic and unhelpful response.
Yep.
That we just need to stop fucking doing that shit. And the fact that Mike is able to kind of meme on it,
yeah.
Like it's clear that is still really prevalent in the Star Citizen community, and we just need to just stop it. Just stop it. It's not helpful. The game experience from one person to the other can be drastically different, you know, and saying it's fine for you does not help.
I kind of want to shout out Mike. I ended up in one of his streams 2-3 days ago after he did his weekly review. Might have been even I don't know, yesterday, I don't know. And he was in his part of the stream where he reads comments on that video, which is a new meta of streaming Star Citizen. And then someone praised him for and thanked him for what he's doing and how much they enjoy and appreciate what he does, unlike Board Gamer. And I love Mike's reaction, man. This guy, I just appreciate Mike so much. He said, well, thank you for your kind words, but this is bullshit. Like, don't do this. Don't be this person. Board Gamer is my friend, and I don't want this shit here. And then people are like, what? He was nice to it. He was like, yeah, since ever I started streaming, I try to like extinguish this kind of behavior in my comments. Like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. I couldn't agree more. Like, you just shouldn't diminish, you know. As a matter of fact, you make it even less like you're just better than this, whatever, man. Like, whatever.
You know, honestly, I feel like, and we're tangenting here, but surprise.
I mean, this is drama work too, right?
We've talked about this already a couple times in our Straight Outta Stanton episodes about how I talk about like that tribalism that seems to be inherent to, you know, to gamer culture. And I feel like that's just another representation of this, right? Like, I like Mike and everybody else sucks, or I like Mike and therefore Board Gamer sucks, or whatever. And it's just bullshit tribalism. You can like more than one content creator.
Oh, and
or you cannot like them. That's
fine. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. But don't go to one content creator and tell them how much you dislike the other one, and that's why you like them. It's like,
well, that's just again, it's evidence of tribalism, and it's unnecessary. And just like who you like, and don't like who you don't like. And I mean, I have to be careful when I'm saying this too, because obviously I've been critical about content creators, but the reason I'm critical about them is typically because of the way that they put their content out there.
I do think it's different though. Like, and I agree. Like, sometimes we're gonna talk crap about certain content creators,
or talk about the content specifically.
Well, it's
not that I have
personal.
a problem
like
with.
I always say, I think even in World of Warships, where currently there's a lot of crap happening, and I have to express myself more often than I would like to. I always say, like, the guys that I think are you know, making this whole drama, it's content, dude. Like, I think when I would see this person in real life, I'd shake hands and, you know, we'd have a giggle. And everything that I say, it's not like personally against this, you know, human being. Fuck that. Like, that's so stupid. Until they hurt me in some serious way, I don't have these feelings for anyone. That's just not how it works. I don't know. Just don't diminish other content creators in eyes of the other content. What your favorite ones? But yeah, that's all I had to say. Like, Mike just does the right thing, and you don't see that very often. Okay, the next one. Oh boy, we've lost one of the big streamers on Twitch.
This is definitely gossip worthy.
It is.
I'm not gonna weigh in on this too heavily, because I feel like there's more to this story. But as someone, so to put this into perspective, the DarkLaw, who is very well known, both low flyer and kind of PP player, I guess, is permabanned from Twitch, and there's no actual like explanation what caused it. But obviously, I mean, just to clarify this, and I'm partnered with Twitch just like he is, and
it's hard, man. Like, I don't want this to happen to anyone. Just to be clear, like, I don't want anyone to lose their workplace, basically, like this. I do trust him that there was no communication between him and Twitch, for sure, which happened before. But the way this whole incident happened, I just don't know what to think about it. I just don't have enough information, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a good explanation for this, because DarkLaw, it's kind of like, I think that's one of the reasons why people like him. He's just gonna say things, you know, and do things.
Yeah.
And just like what we talked about a minute ago, where I by no means do I think he's a bad person or anything. Quite the opposite. I think DarkLaw is very mature and normal person in real life. Yeah, but his content is a little bit iffy at times.
He runs his mouth off.
Yeah.
You know, he loses his temper. I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, takes things too far. So like that's kind of why I say
people
like
should have bans for this. That's fine. But permaban, I mean, I don't. It's hard because we don't know what exactly happened. I mean,
it's exactly it, right? Like I can't weigh in. Yeah.
I don't know if it's like some. I don't want to put two words. This is very, because it's for him. It's really difficult, and I just want to say, like, the link is in the description. There's a lot of where he goes and explains his side, and you'll see some support from other streamers. I am hesitant. I kind of want to support him, but at the same time,
yeah, we don't know what it was.
I don't know what it was. So, yeah, exactly. But
yeah. I think the reality is likely that there's some blame on either side. So he claims he's being targeted by a particular group, which is entirely possible. But at the same time,
the reason where Twitch, I kind of know how Twitch bans.
I would, like you said, you said it would be surprising if he was just auto permabanned.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's not how it works.
But at the same time, like, I think that there's probably some merit to it being something that was a little bit more calculated and targeted. Also, simply because I'm not on Twitch a lot, but the little time I have spent on Twitch, I can tell you, I've encountered some very abrasive and kind of more like 4chan-esque streamers who are saying some dodgy shit.
Yeah, but you have to be reported.
Still on Twitch, so yeah.
But also, are they partner or not? Like, with partnership comes more responsibility and more monitoring, and I think he should have at least an opportunity to talk to someone who will tell him why this happened, and potentially a way to defend himself. But I mean, I'm sad. He's a big, in terms of the numbers of Star Citizen, he's a big, and I would say by now, like, iconic member of Star Citizen community.
I'd say
whether you like him or
like,
not, it doesn't matter. I do respect him for that. Like,
you say DarkLaw in the Star Citizen
Everyone
community, and people probably know what you're talking about. Yeah. So I think you're right. Like, and he obviously was very skilled. It is unfortunate.
I'll say a lot of people are supporting him, which is normal. He has numbers that you would be surprised if people are not supporting him. But there are some that are like, oh, just go to YouTube and stuff like that. So we talked about this many times. Like, that's just not how it works, dude. Like, you can't just go from one platform to another. You have been building your community on Twitch for such a long time. That's your full-time job. You can't just switch platforms. If you're Nick Mercs or Ninja, or Shroud, and they offer you millions to switch, and then you are suited for a certain period of time, yeah, sure. But if you're like small content creator, which he is, like, if you have 100 people on average, you're not a big. You can't go to YouTube. And
I think that's a good example, though, because oftentimes, like, we've seen a couple of big streamers get paid to go stream on a different platform, and guess what? Oftentimes they don't stay there because
they stay for the longevity of their content. But Twitch is where it is, right?
Well,
there are streamers who grew their audience on YouTube, but that's different because they are YouTube, like Jimmy Broadbent, who is a driving streamer, kind of sim streamer, but he has been making YouTube videos for like 10 plus years, and then he started streaming while he already had huge YouTube audience from his videos, and people just wanted to. It's like different thing. He did not switch from one to the other.
He spent the time building it, and that's the thing, right? Like you can't just switch platforms. You have to, you have to invest a lot of time and effort to build that. It's crazy. That sort of
He's also partnered with Sneak Energy and Team Gilded. Probably gonna drop that as well. And then to go to another platform, it's gonna be like 10% of his revenue, bro.
Yeah,
I guess it's brutal, dude. Like I don't want.
Yeah,
you gotta be careful. You shouldn't slip and fall. But it's easy for this to happen on Twitch. It's not that difficult. Like I know it can happen to me any day.
Especially when you are a dedicated PvP player in a game where there are a lot of snowflakes who hate being killed. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, this is all gossip. I don't know which way I fall on this, but I guess ultimately what we'll see is like if he does manage to get some sort of an appeal process, and I mean, I guess that will be the determining factor. If this is reviewed and reversed, then I guess maybe there was something that was more targeted, but if not, I mean,
I'll be honest. I hope so. I mean, that would be good news, right? And it would mean that he didn't do anything that crazy or whatever. But I haven't really seen this happen, especially not to 100 viewer streamers like him.
Yeah.
Which again is huge and hard to get to, but for Twitch, you're just like a tiny speck. I know from personal experience, you're nothing. Even with much more numbers. So yeah, I hope things go better for the guy, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he just doesn't like disappear. That would be kind of, I don't know. That'd be crappy.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want even people that I openly cannot stand when it comes to content. Again, not human beings, like Jorun. Like I can't stand that guy. Like he's extreme for me. I can't listen to him at all. Or what's the name? What's the name? I forgot. the pirate, the Minion soldier. But I don't want this to happen. I don't want them to disappear, stop making content or anything like that.
You just don't like their content. You don't like.
That's what it is, right?
It's
like,
it's not an
bad
ill
blood
wish
or anything. Yeah. Okay, so that we that was the last tweet. We have a couple of videos for you guys as well, and the first one is great, dude. You just brought this up before the show, and you were like, "Well, this is just this, which is a flight guide."
Okay, yeah, it's great, as in like it's a useful resource, but it's
very well
boring
done as well.
It's not really like. It's not really like exciting content, but this is from a content creator that we've talked about a couple times in the past for some of his videos. It's Hybrid V, or Hybrid V Audio is his YouTube channel, and he did an updated new player flight guide for 3.14 with the new controls, the new HUDs and stuff like that. And it's well done. It's very concise. It's easy to follow. So like if you're watching this, I'm guessing you're probably not a new player, but
timestamps everything.
Timestamped, yeah. But if you know somebody who's like coming back to the game around now, or you kind of you know a new player, like this is a good resource. Like it's not how to start the game kind of 3.14 guide. It's like very specifically like here's how the flight works, here's what the HUD means, here's what all the different buttons do, all the different icons, like what the different flight modes are, how to control your throttle, how to control your thruster power, like really in depth. It's 28 minutes, but like I said, if you know somebody who's like returning to the game after a while or brand new to the game, this is, I think, a really valuable resource for like an up-to-date flight guide.
And I want to share it on my Discord because it's visually very appealing. Audio quality is great, no surprise. It's segmented, so if you just need something quickly, you can just click to that and see whatever countermeasures or whatever the crap you need at the time. And
one of the things I will say, like, specifically this is for mouse and keyboard, but I think there's still use to this if somebody is like wanting to use a flight stick, because it still goes over again like what the flight mechanics are, what the HUD means, and on top of it, I think just the controls that he goes over gives you a good idea as a stick user about what keybinds are important.
You can rebind to your stick, right? Or
exactly, yeah. Because that's one of the biggest problems I think with being a new player and jumping into this game, and this has always been the case since I started years and years ago. Like you jump into that controls menu to try to like, bind some stuff to your stick, and you're like, I don't know what this means, so I don't know how important it is, so I don't know where to put this button.
But not only that, like the changes in 3.14, I told you, like I was flying Connie, and I used my regular bind on a stick to lock target for missile, which sent me into missile operator mode, and I didn't know how to get out of it. Like
or like, okay, now how do I fire the missile? I'm in
exactly.
operator mode. I've had that a couple times, but
it's useful.
Yeah, like
it's really useful.
Again, like just something to like when you're scrolling through that huge list of controls as a new player, to at least have a video that says like, this command is important, this command is important, this is what this means, this is what this means, etc. Would have been like, man, I wish I had this when I was starting the game, because it would have been super useful for setting up my joystick keybinds as well. So
great value, and I'm grateful for people who do this. And it's so funny because they might change this like in next couple of patches, because they're working on it. And he went through like super, like it's so thorough and detailed. Okay, the next one is the actual submission from Boris Kraken, which is Ninetails Recruitment. I don't even want to talk about this. This is so good.
Just watch it. It's so funny.
This is one of the funniest things that I've seen about Star Citizen. It's very original, and it's very short. It's memeish. It looks great. Just watch it. It's about Ninetails event.
Yeah, exactly. It's very topical with the whole Ninetails lockdown event going on. I don't often like laugh out loud at stuff, but
100%.
Boris, this one knocked it out of the park. I literally laughed my way through this video, and you can probably tell by my response to your comment because
it's a great one. It's Ninetails Recruitment. So if you're like, especially if you want to play the dark side of the event, you're gonna love this. Like and some jokes are just spot on. It's so good. The next one also, we're not going to talk. I left these two on purpose for the end because there's not really much to talk about. This one actually is from like the beginning of the week, and Morphologis did the video. He did two videos on Ninetails, and we mentioned this on Straight Outta Stanton as well. Where first one is just the regular part of the event, pew pew whatever, and then the second one is, the name is a little bit misleading. It's about issues with Ninetails event, but actually I think this is great because no one else did it. They did a non-combat side of it, so finding the Starfarers, explaining how the whole medical supply works. You can see the big
backstory.
Boxes.
Backstory. If you didn't know, the other aspect of the Ninetails lockdown event was supposed to be a like kind of blockade running, kind of cargo hauling, where you were supposed to basically run medical supplies to the station, and you'd be able to sell them for like a very, very large price, but there are some issues with that.
There's a lot of issues. There's some cool things as well, like the big boxes, the SU boxes and whatnot, which surprised me when I saw it. And in true Morph fashion, it looks great,
beautiful,
even if it's bad. But I mean, definitely worth to look see, because I don't think anyone else did it from that perspective, or at least I did not find it. Everyone's talking about the actual combat and which side to choose and all that, which. I think that's really good.
Though after watching Morph's video and seeing some of the problems, which again, I'm not super surprised at. I'm not surprised that people are only making the combat videos, because guess what? Yeah. The block raid running doesn't really work very well, if at all.
Also, just briefly, he does mention and connects this to a Quanta system, which we talked about this, you and me. Personally, I'm not sure if he's right or wrong. Honestly, I'm undecided, because maybe Morph has some like inside information, because we know he talks to developers and whatnot. But you brought a good point where he could be really wrong in this one. I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like it was unnecessary completely for the whole video. But yeah, I mean, whenever you mention Quanta, you kind of spark people, Star Citizen player base, break.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess the main thing is like, after watching that Jack Axton video where he goes into like serious depth about like how the cargo is currently working behind the scenes after like his hundreds of hours of testing, I was just like, what? I think you're kind of off base with this, because I don't think that that's involved. But I mean, who really knows, right? None of us are looking at it.
Off base as well. We don't know, right? Like, this is all speculation, and it's good that we have like speculation like that, because for two reasons. One, something might actually be explained that way and correct, but the other thing is, we know, especially Morphologis, like CIG is watching these videos, and if nothing else, they might understand that there's a confusion, or maybe in some of the future ICs of SCLs they might explain this, even if it sounds as if it's their idea to explain or whatever, but like they get the feedback that the community is kind of confused about some things, which I think that's just good for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it for this week. We did not have to go through the hoops to actually create content, which I wasn't sure again, but it ended up being okay. Thank you for being with us. And if you don't know already, every Sunday we do Straight Outta Stanton, which is our main show, which lasts when it's
many hours.
When it's short, it's like 4 hours long. And you can catch it live on Twitch TV/Masocast every Sunday after 7 p.m. Sometime after 7 p.m. Central European time, which is
11 a.m. PST. We're pretty late all the time. But
if you want to ask questions, you can do it there live. We answer them at the end of the show. If not, you can always ask questions here on YouTube, either in comment section here or Straight Outta Stanton, and we'll make a habit of answering them on the show if you want us to do so. So please make sure that if you want us to answer this, like not in chat but actually in the show, please make a comment that explains that. And with that, I'm done. I'm gonna let you sign us out, Maso, and
if you like this, throw us a like. We're tiny, we just do this for fun, but it's fun to see those numbers go up. If you have content that you've seen, stuff on Twitter, stuff on wherever, stuff on YouTube or whatever, like Mr. Boris Kraken there, throw it in the comments below, and we will do our best to kind of like highlight it, unless it sucks.
Thank you, Boris. Hvala.
But other than that, hopefully we'll see you guys Sunday.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.